Hello, everybody. Welcome to GM Joel's Chess Week Recap on ICC. The World Championship match is over, and as Queen H6 check dances in front of our eyes, we can return to our examination of other events in the wonderful world of chess. But we will start on a sad note as we commemorate the passing of two grandmasters, one of a storied career and one with great promise. First, Mark Taimanov has left us at the ripe old age of 90. Taimanov is best remembered by many for suffering a pasting at the hands of Bobby Fischer in the 1970 candidates matches. That 6-0 loss was indeed hard for a player in the Soviet Union to rehabilitate from. But in 1977, Taimanov achieved some level of redemption by defeating the world champion Anatoly Karpov. That game made an impression on me as a young player, particularly the lovely concluding combination. So let's take a look at it. Karpov against Taimanov. This game was played in Leningrad, 1977. Of course, Karpov had been world champion for 2 years, and he was absolutely dominant in the world at that time. This is, of course, before the rise of Kasparov. Okay, now Taimanov, to me, it's all about the Taimanov variation of the Sicilian. And as a longtime Taimanov player, I feel like I've kind of lost one of my heroes. And he would normally enter that opening from e6. Black could have also played e6 on move 2. And this is often known as the Taimanov. If black plays as a pawn on a6 instead of a knight on c6, that's usually called the Polzin or the Can. Now, after knight c3, when black plays knight ge7, this is what Taimanov himself called the Taimanov variation, and this is his own patent, and he played that in many games. But we're not actually going to look at that variation today. I played that in several games myself back in the 80s, although I haven't played any games with the knight ge7 in a long time. I should say a6 and then later knight ge7. But we're going to see this particular game where Taimanov played the move a6, a little bit of a strange move order. If knight c3, black could transpose back with e6, but as often happens in many Sicilians, when black doesn't play knight f6, white can try c4. White can try this move against e6 as well, and I guess Taimanov decided he wanted to answer with d5. I think back in these days, Karpov was answering e6 with knight to b5 and the Marxi bind from there. They liked the Marxi bind, so Taimanov probably prepared this specially. Knight b3. Knight usually doesn't go to b3. It goes to f5 or c2 is more common from this position. So we see black getting that bishop outside of the chain. But if you think he's going to trade to make double pawns, that doesn't happen. He doesn't want to create too many weaknesses. So once that knight is defended, now he goes to put the bishop on c5 to try to cement control of the dark squares. And Karpov goes and takes it. Knight jumps in. Now black could consider knight takes d5, but then after c takes d5, white it probably gets some edge with b4, so he waits for the moment. Karpov pushes forward and wins the bishop pair. Queen b6, and he holds, rook f2, and f6. So I think here Karpov maybe starts to go in the wrong direction. I think that he should just leave the queen side, just say, okay, I've got that sort of solidified, and maybe play g4, just go attack on the king side, try to crack that open. But he tries to totally really control the queen side, and black is actually kind of stronger on this side of the board. So eventually black is ready for action. And so after all